The Chico community came together after two people were shot and killed in a public library. The shooting happened yesterday evening at the Chico branch of the Butte County Library System. Tonight, investigators say the suspect, 18-year-old Bradley Sayer, was influenced by the Columbine High School shooting. They say he made a deep dive into its social media community and lost his way.
Police say it took 4 minutes for them to arrest Sayer after getting the initial call. Inside the library, one father describes the scary moments.
I see the gunman with the rifle in hand. It was like a hunter's rifle, like I said, pointing towards the door right where me and my son were standing. There were shots being fired as I was running into the office room, and then once we were all, huddled in there waiting for the help to come, there was more shots being fired, probably like 3 to 5 shots during that time as well.
The two men shot and killed were 74-year-old Robert Johnson and 46-year-old Jacob Hull. Hull's friends say he died protecting the 8-year-old child who was also hurt.
From my understanding, he was preventing the shooter from getting further into the library, and that is what led him to being shot.
Tonight, as the community gathered to speak out against gun violence and mourn this senseless act, the road to healing is just starting.
ABC 10's Paul Sunga is live outside the library tonight. I know an emotional night for everyone gathered there, Paul.
It was Chris and Laura, and it wrapped up here about a few hours ago. About 150 to 200 people attended that vigil, and there's memorials that are popping up here around the library. There's ones that are in front of it, but also here on the back side of the library as people have been coming by to pay their respects, lay down flowers, electric candles here, but you can also see a little bit of that memorial that's closer to the back entrance. Now tonight, people from across Chico came to this library to mourn, reflect, and show they aren't going to let this tragedy define their community. Just one day after a shooting inside a Chico library killed 2 men and injured a young girl, the community came together in front of that building to remember the victims. Neighbors and local leaders filled the lawns with flowers, candles, and prayers.
Complete shock. You hear about things like this happening, but we frequent the library often together as a family. My son has tutoring here. We come to story time, and we usually come around 5 o'clock.
Cindy and Omar Serrato have lived in Chico for decades. They didn't know the families involved, but say they felt compelled to pay their respects and show their children the importance of supporting others in difficult times.
Stuff you read about, you see about, but to hit so close to home, in our home.
Through shared hugs, prayers, and moments of silence.
But this is the first time we've experienced it this way in Chico. And I just felt today how fragile life is.
The community walked around the library after the vigil.
Reclaim the whole property by all walking around and spreading the love around the building, which I think is really important to reclaim it as the sacred place the library is.
For many, the shooting shook their sense of security.
It really is, because a library is supposed to be like a sanctuary, for peace and knowledge. I can't comprehend the senselessness of it.
The violence is still hard to process in this tight-knit Chico community. As the community grieves, the message for many here was simple: standing together, supporting those hurting, and helping children make sense of the tragedy.
We tried to educate our kids that this stuff happens and it can happen in our backyard, and it did.
And you can see a portion of the back entrance here. It's boarded up with plywood, and you can see more flowers, candles, and this message that someone put here. It says, there is love here, there is forgiveness here, and there is sadness as well. Our hearts are with you today. Now the community is saying they're going to keep the victims' families in their hearts and try to grieve together as a community. Now for the suspect, he's due in court on Thursday, currently facing 2 murder counts. Reporting from Chico, Paul Sunga, ABC 10.
Yeah, Paul, that memorial says so much about how the victims in the community really respond and love each other. Thank you for that update. Such a heartbreaking situation.
And following the shooting, the Butte County Library System says they plan to have security at each of their locations.
Their library branches will remain closed for now. The director of libraries shared this message at a news conference today.
The library should be a place of joy. It should be a place where people of all ages come to learn, connect, laugh, and discover something new. Most importantly, it should be a place where people feel safe. And yesterday, that sense of safety was shattered.
They say they will announce when their branches will reopen. They also say the Chico branch was already scheduled to close in August for renovations. It'll reopen when renovations are complete.
ABC 10 will continue to follow this story and bring you the latest developments. If you'd like to watch today's news conference in full with investigators, you can stream it right now on the free ABC 10 TV streaming app.